So for the topic today, we'll be looking at the grammatical functions of a noun. Preparing for an examination, you've gone beyond simply identifying a noun as a name. Your understanding of a noun should reflect that you know the functions, what a noun can or cannot do in a sentence. There are about 6 functions of a noun, as you can see on the screen. Subject of a verb, object of a verb, object of a preposition, subject complement, object complement, and a position to another noun. So we're going to look at these 6 functions of a noun to help deepen our understanding of what a noun is. Let's begin with the first one, noun functioning as a subject of a verb. In every sentence, there is always something that the sentence is about. Something or someone whom the sentence is about. So that person or thing is what is called the subject of the verb. So if the sentence is about a house would be the subject of a verb. If a sentence is about a place, the place would be the subject of the verb. Now, if you look at the example, we have, for example, Stacy killed a snake last night. Stacy performed the action on the verb killed, and that is what makes Stacy the subject of the verb killed. The other examples, there are highlighted words there that showed the subject of the verb clearly. The first one, John teaches English in China. Second one, children can be very naughty sometimes. Number 3, Biden was voted president. And number 4, the politician is a liar. So the highlighted sentences are all subjects of the verb. A noun functioning in this capacity usually comes before the verb. The next function of a noun is a noun functioning as objects of a verb. What does it mean when a noun functions as object of a verb? It means that the noun receives the action of the verb. And for this to happen, the verb must be a transitive verb because it is the only type of verb that can have an object. So the actions of the verb will be transferred to a noun. That noun that receives it is what we call the object of a verb. Take for example, Tom slapped Jerry. Tom is the subject who performed the action. But who or what is the receiver of the action slapped? Jerry, of course. So that makes Jerry the object of the verb slapped. The other sentence examples clearly make this point stand out. The words in bold are all the objects of the verb that preceded them. For example, in the first one, ball is the object of kicked. Traveling is the object of enjoy. Students is the object of punished. Letter is the object of wrote. London is the object of know. And food is the object of cooked. However, there is another type of object. This time around, what we call indirect objects. Indirect objects. So the examples we looked at earlier are all examples of a noun functioning as a direct object of a verb. But when a noun functions as an indirect object, what exactly does it mean? A noun that functions as an indirect object receives the action of the verb indirectly. In English syntax, a noun that functions as the indirect object of the verb will come before the direct object. That is one way to identify it. It will always come before the direct object, and it answers the question to whom or for whom. So let's take, for example, the sentence, Jane supplied him some goods. What did Jane supply? Goods. To whom? To him. So in that sentence, him is the indirect object, but goods is the direct object. If you look at the other examples there, this point stands out as well. Gretchen lent Jackson the book. What did Gretchen lend? The book. To whom? To Jackson. Second sentence, he fed the monkeys banana. What did he feed? Bananas. To whom? The monkeys. 3. Drake sent his family a letter. What did Drake send? A letter. To whom? his family. The last one, the group gave Mike a wedding gift. What did the group give? A wedding gift. To whom? Mike. So this helps us to understand when a noun, what it means when we say that a noun is functioning as an indirect object. Now the third one, the third function of a noun functioning as subject complement. When a noun functions as a subject complement, it simply means that the noun renames the subjects of the sentence and tells you what the subject is or what the subject has become. That is what it means when a noun functions as a subject complement. Because there are two types of subject complements, one with a noun, one with an adjective, the one with a noun is called a predicate nominative. So whenever you hear a predicate nominative, you know it's actually a subject complement. Take for example, John is a liar. The word liar is a noun, and it tells you who or what John is or what John has become. That is one way we know that we are dealing with a subject complement. Also, a subject complement is linked to the subject with a linking verb, not a transitive verb, a linking verb. So examples of linking verbs include words such as is, are, am, be, are, was, were, been, being, seem, taste, appoint, become, feel, smell, sound, appear. These are all examples of a linking verb. It is not a verb that expresses an action. So whenever a noun is joined to the subject with a linking verb, that noun is a subject complement. Now the examples highlighted in bold clearly shows this. The man is a trader tells you who the man is. I was a teacher while living in China. Teacher is the subject complement to the subject, which is I. John is the winner. Winner tells you what John has become. Our friends from Pakistan were the losers. Our friends from Pakistan is the subject, where is the linking verb, losers is the predicate nominative or the subject complement. I think it is an animal. It is the subject. Is the linking verb. Animal is a subject complement. The last one, Phil Collins is a legendary musician. Phil Collins is the subject. Is the linking verb. Musician is the subject complement. The fourth function of a noun, object of a preposition. Now this is an easy one. Whenever a noun follows a preposition, that noun functions as the object of that preposition. So for example, in the sentence, I give the book to John. I is the subject. Gave is the verb. What did the person give the book? But the expression to John means that John is the object of the preposition because it comes after the preposition to. Please, at those points, it's important that we be careful about object of a preposition and an indirect object. Sometimes people have confused an indirect object for a noun that functions as the object of a preposition, or vice versa. How so? When you say that a noun is functioning as an indirect object, it answers a question to whom or for whom, and it must come before the direct object. But when a noun functions as object of the preposition, it doesn't come before the direct object. It follows it. Precisely, it follows a preposition that follows the object of the verb. Again, take a very good look at the examples. I interceded for the boy. I interceded is the sentence. For the boy, for is the preposition. Boy is the object of the preposition for. We buy books for the children today when I visit the bookstore. I is the subject. We buy is a verb phrase. What will the person buy? Books. For the children, for is the preposition. Children is the object of the preposition. Please do not confuse these two. That is the subject, indirect object, and the object of a preposition to be the same. Always remember, while the object of a preposition will always come after a preposition, but indirect objects will always come before the direct object. The fifth one, a noun that functions in apposition to another noun. First of all, what is apposition? Apposition is a noun that tells you more about the subject. It comes immediately after the subject. You put it next to the subject. And it is often marked off with a comma in order to show you that it is possible to read the sentence without the apposition. So it is often enclosed in comma. For example, the footballer Suarez has been suspended. Suarez is in apposition to the footballer. The footballer is a subject, but the subject has an identity and he was identified as Suarez. In this instance, Suarez is in apposition to the subject, the footballer. Now, in the other examples, the nurse, Janet, has retired. Janet is in opposition to the nurse because it renames the subject. His book, Animal Farm, is considered one of the greatest books ever written. Animal Farm is in opposition to the subject, the book. It is possible for you to remove Animal Farm from the sentence and simply say, his book is considered one of the greatest books ever written. But to clearly identify it, you used Animal Farm. So Animal Farm and the book are the same. The third sentence example, the pastor has been arrested, but the pastor has a name, so we added Elijah as the opposition to the noun, the pastor. In the last sentence, my hometown is a wonderful place. For those who don't know your hometown, you decided to add an extra information by naming it Manchester. My hometown, Manchester, is a wonderful place. So all these are the functions of a noun. As a recap, let's look at all 6 functions again. Number 1, a noun functions as the subject of a verb. 2, a noun functions as the object of a verb. 3, a noun functions as the indirect object of a verb. 4, a noun functions as a subject complement or a predicate nominative. 5, a noun functions as objects of the preposition. And lastly, a noun functions as an apposition to another noun. Thank you very much.